on all your classes, especially this class. So my announcement is you have till next week Wednesday to turn in all of your makeup assignments and makeup attendance, and then so I will be more. So I'll have a fun day on Wednesday in writing all A's on your grades. Any questions on how to do makeup?
When are you gonna mark progress? Next Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Oh.
So I'll give you till next Wednesday.
So how do you make up?
For the homeworks is you just do the homeworks, right? And for the attendance, it's both an easy and a hard makeup because it's easy because you just report. You know, all of the lessons we've taken so far, if you would or have applied it and have seen any impact, you report. You report progress and then make them significant. That should make up for your assignments. But in my book, you guys are all A students because what you guys have done, and I am sincere about this, what you guys do for your chapters, I understand perfectly because I used to be a chapter president. And so these are just ways to get more academic proficiency. So that's the announcement. This is our final lesson. It is the most significant lesson because I just want to thank all of you too in behalf of the alumni office because we've learned a lot. And we will continue to learn on how we can support you. Our last item that we will talk about tonight, is how next semester would look like, how this class would look like. And we would ask for your help. So for our final lesson, I want you to watch and learn. Let's start with this principle, a video that is, there's quite a lot to learn. And as you watch this, just think about you as chapter president and the welfare of your chapter. And tell me what lessons to learn. During the Olympics, my kids and I would always make fun of the faces, you know, when they run it and everything. But anyway, that's not our lesson tonight. Corbin, can I have one?
Yeah.
I'm dark. They can't see me. So, any lessons? No?
No, I was about to sit down. This is not a dark.
Oh.
Anyway,
Yeah.
well, I can still talk.
What are lessons to learn in relation to us as in Olympics? It's so easy. Yeah? It's a relay event. We know it's time to grab those principles and find practical use as chapter presidents? Samantha, what? Teamwork. Teamwork is, there's a lot, yeah, and there's more details. What are some examples of teamwork that you've seen in that relay event?
You have to pass the state to the next player.
Can you easily pass it? There's a way to do it, yeah? And it's quite precise. And it really would make a difference if, especially if it drops. Probably.
It's constant. The velocity that they're going is constant, even if they're two different people.
Yeah. You kind of need to keep that pace. So as you think about your chapters, what is the pace that your chapter is going right now? Oh, were you raising your hand? Anyone else? Anyone want to talk about the victory?
Actually, I have a question. Which one wins the game? I saw somebody.
Great Britain.
I saw
With the
somebody
head.
pass the
He won with the head.
Yeah, like
Great,
with the
Great
legs.
Britain won that event. So, thanks for your interest.
I think it was interesting because yeah, just like kind of, it was hard to tell who won, but in the end, it's kind of like every step counted. Like,
Yeah.
if he could have like given up like, oh, I'm almost there, and just like started slowing down before the line, but he kept running past the line.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, I guess if you're going to relate it back to leadership, like it's every step you do, you can either like stop just before the end, like the mission, you can stop just before the end and just relax, so you don't get in trouble. So you don't like wear yourself out, or you can push yourself to extra limit and achieve the best results. So
Thank you. Very well said. I see a lot of nods because every step counts, especially before. Don't forget your thoughts. Those who have their hands, especially in our in relation to the mission of the university. When do we receive that victory? For a relay, there is a certain amount of distance, right? But for us, have you identified when is it that we can raise our arms and say that we won the race?
Is this for our club or?
Yeah, for our chapter, for the mission that we do.
The race is won every day in each individual member of the chapter, based on how we see every single chapter member achieving a specific goal, or how the chapter is known and presented.
Yeah, absolutely. And along those lines, somehow we need to organize. There are those that are long term, and there are those that are short term. But hopefully, every step we see, every step counts, and leading towards that end. Everybody keeps the same pace, same momentum in building, so that everybody benefits. So thank you.
I was just saying, in high school, my last year, I participated in that relay, and we really wanted to win, so we practiced a lot, and then somehow I was the first one. We were 4 of us,
Yeah.
and then I took the lead, so I was like good lead. It was a good lead, and then I gave that lead to the second girl. And she took the lead, so I was like, yes, you're gonna win. And then she went to the third one, and third one got her, and she tripped, she fell. And we were all like, cause all our victory things are her.
Sure.
She fell. And we were all like really upset. We were so upset. And she fell, and then but she got up and she ran, but she was like last. But the last one, it was so amazing. The last girl, she could have just given up because we already lost it. She didn't stop. She got the win and she still ran to the end. So, and what I learned in that is that you could have got upset with her and be mad at her. And even in our chapters, there are things that, especially teamwork, it's not just, president cannot just lead the whole thing. And it's all about teamwork, and sometimes things might not go right, but still we have to continue doing it, doing what we have to do.
Thank you. And I'm glad hearing this from the presidents of chapters, because the proper understanding of leading an organization really takes some qualities, even if you experience hardships. So I'm glad we're discussing these things. Noah, and then we'll
I think the chapters are kind of building we are making. It can go and go and go and become very beautiful. It can just collapse because one lack to do something specific at a specific time. I really appreciate, I don't know if it's alumni service who brought it up or you are just saying that there must be a president and a junior president. A junior president that is working with the president to take over right after the president has retired, has gone on graduate. It's the same principle that I've seen over there. As we can see, the person who is taking the relay doesn't stop until he got a stick before running. He's kind of at a certain time start running off with the one that is about to finish it. The same principle is seen or should be seen in our chapters, whereby we have to take along the junior president that will be working with us. So when we leave, they can easily run the show perfectly.
Yeah, continuity of programs. As a matter of fact, in corporations, we just invested in a DVD that I was watching and learning from the training, and the speakers were from Microsoft. Succession management is very, very strong, and it's a critical component. And I hope we're beginning to think that's the perfect segue to discussing now. This final lesson is all about how do we now take care of next semester? Who will take over? Even if it's you taking over, there needs to be a succession plan. And so that would be the bulk of our lesson. Let me just ask though, before we move on, how many minutes, seconds did they run?
38.
38 seconds. How much time do you think they spent in the actual work? It's years and years of training for a 38-second event, performance event. And so that should be something for us to think about. So as we plan for next semester, when is the preparation for next semester?
Right now.
We've been doing it simultaneously. I'm just reminded now when we were in Congo, one of the highlights when we visited a orphanage, I got a soccer ball, and it was just in Africa, they love soccer. Yeah? So, and I played soccer myself, but I was out of shape. Anyway, so I played with them. At first I'm like, I'm just gonna discipline myself. I'll just kick the ball. But when the game started going and there was an opportunity for me to score, I ran. What do you think happened?
You score.
I ate it, man. I ate it because I ran and my legs started cramping. I literally fell. So that was my debut in Africa. That's why I'm not going back to Africa anymore. No, just kidding. Because everybody was having fun. Anyway, so there is a lesson to that. Next semester, we've been doing all the preparations right now, and I hope we continue in understanding that, because who will be tripping next semester? Like what happened to me in my enjoyment of playing soccer. So that's what we're going to do today, what we're going to be talking about. So let's have our own leadership relay. There's 20, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Perfect. So this is one team, and try to practice what you've learned from that. Of course, it's going to be a different. So the relay is, when I say go, the pen should all go pass, and then back to the people who are holding them, right? Okay? And the winners will get shirts, for those who haven't got shirts yet. Because our goal is to give everybody shirts. Oh, by the way, there were supposed to be people who wanted to do the mission. We'll do that at the end so that you can get your shirts too. Okay? On 3. So all the way to the back and up to the front. So you need to strategize. You need to. Why don't everybody stretch? Stretch. Everybody stretch.
Does everyone have to touch it?
Huh? Yeah, you have to pass it. Okay?
I was sleeping on a table.
No, you have to pass it. Hand by hand. Okay, on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Go, 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 go!
Whoa!
Hey,
again later. When you have time. All right. Oh, you want to do it some more? We'll use up all 30 minutes just passing the pen. Did you guys notice while you were passing the pen what kind of a pen it was? BYU. Do you guys want pens? Always. Always. Pass them around. This is your process. Always. As fast as you can, guys. It's fine. Okay, one quick answer. How about in the leadership relay? Think of who will succeed in winter semester. Who's going to be done after this semester? Or for some reason are leaving? And who won't be presidents again? So for you, there will be a literal successor, right? Do you already have a plan on how to hand over the baton to the next one?
Just give it.
Just give it?
Then take care of it. And then
I'll be watching it. I know where you live. You threatened the guy, yeah? I know where you live. For those who will be staying as presidents, who will you be handing it over to?
What was that?
myself.
Yourself. For those who are staying, so there still needs to be a succession plan. You need to prepare because for those who are staying, it's more critical because it will be you who will be taking on the legacy. So, please.
Okay, I just have a question. Like, can we share the presidency?
Can you what?
Can we share the presidency?
Change.
The commitment is for 2 semesters. Oh wait, the vice president?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Right?
Oh.
Only the president.
You can change. Presidents can change their presidency whenever they want.
Whatever you want. So
But the commitment is for 2 semesters.
for the presidents.
For the president.
Yeah.
So I cannot change. Okay.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
Because that's my first semester. I have to stay for another one.
All right. So to answer your question, you can change, but I hope you've. Oh, that's probably one of the things that we can be learning next semester is how to point. So I just saw this. Anyone know Joe J. Christensen? Sounds
You
familiar?
mean the real Christensen?
Yeah, Elder Joe J. He became when he spoke and gave this. He wasn't a 70 yet. He became an emeritus 70. But this is what he shared. Noah, can you please read this for us aloud? And
I shall never forget the day I arrived in Provo, just after the announcement of the appointment had been made, and went to visit with President Barrett. As I entered his office, he greeted me warmly, shook my hand, and motioned me to be seated in his chair. I immediately resisted and indicated that I was very comfortable to sit where I had always sat. But he insisted that I sit in his chair and he where I usually had sat. Then he said, Joe, long before I learned to lead, I learned to follow. And I want you to know that I'm willing to do anything I can to be of assistance in any way. That simple experience taught me the dignity and the nobility that can be demonstrated in gracefully passing the baton to someone else. And Brother Barrett was as good as his word.
this was when he was taking over to be a commissioner of in the church educational system. This was the transition. What did Elder Joe J. Christensen learn and experience? From President Barrett. Roger?
Well, he said before I learn to lead, I learn to follow. So to become a leader, we need to be a follower first.
Yeah.
So we can learn from the leaders, and then we'll kind of like adjust the way they lead, and then bring it to our own way.
Yeah. And what is amazing too is that President Barrett did not stop becoming a follower because he was already, he was stepping down, so to speak. He was not the commissioner anymore. He was giving it to Elder Joe J. Christensen. And yet his last act was, let me assist you, let me be a follower, let me serve you. Did you did you raise your hand? Or? No. Okay. All right. So may I give that same challenge? Either you're leaving and passing the baton to your president, or you're staying. More specifically, well, both have the same degree. But I hope you are mindful of the leadership that you will take over if you are staying, and for those who are leaving, to pass it on properly. So that's the question now. In our simple terms, what do you think is the best way to pass the baton? To yourself if you're staying, and to those who are leaving? Have you thought about this? What has been your thoughts? Any initial thoughts that you have? And even if you're staying, think about passing it to yourself.
So like in the relays, if you notice when they're passing the baton, like they don't just stand there waiting, they're running together. Like when they're waiting for, they run together with us. So like, I guess you would run together with your new presidency, so you wouldn't have to stand there and drop the baton.
I appreciate that comment because that, I believe, should be something we should be thinking about, is how do we continue? How do we run together? Even if you're staying, the pace that you should be keeping.
So thinking about like what you say, like how we're gonna pass it on to ourselves.
Yeah.
Feel like I remember like one time I gave a training on, like I was on a mission, and we had a zone freeze. So no one in the zone got transfer on the transfer. I was like, what's gonna do, because a lot of people, they seem comfortable with that, like with the area and everything, that they seem to know lots of people, they seem to know the streets, they seem to know like what they're doing right there. And when people seem to become comfortable with the thing they're doing, it's a sign that all the work is going down. It's decreasing, because like we're comfortable with what we're doing. We're not consistently fighting and trying to improve ourselves, but we're too comfortable. So I'm thinking about that. Like, so I gave a training. So to my son, I told them, one thing that they could do is to find what they wish they could do in the last transfer and do this transfer, because they might not know the transfer is going to be the last transfer or not.
Yeah.
So think about what they wish they could do and improve it, because if they feel too comfortable, they wouldn't be able to improve their performance or anything. So I'm thinking about that. So because I've seen a lot of lessons I learned on mission. Either I'm giving a lesson, training, I'll be receiving, I can use it in my real life.
Absolutely. And thank you for explaining that, because you've done my job for me. That is exactly, at some point, there needs to be a succession plan. There needs to be a way, because that's the most, even in corporations, that is what has been observed. If there is no succession plan, there is a decrease in performance. Even if you're the next president. That's why I just want to emphasize this. And so we made batons for you guys in the form of thinking, we want to pass this on to you, give this to you, so you can pass it to the next president. So can you just pass this on, and don't open them yet. We'll open them all at the same time. So these are your batons. Leadership batons. Did you get one? So this is in our leadership relay. It is very critical. The preparation. I don't know who tell me who gave this quotation, but he said that when performance comes, the preparation has ended. Sounds like a President Monson quote,
Yeah.
but seemed like I sounded like him. Not even.
D.
Wait, the lightning is coming from me. Okay, so this is your leadership baton. Just like what Oak was explaining, there has to be something to think about. Either you pass it on to the next one or pass it on to you. This, I believe this has to be done. Okay, open the baton. Oh, we need a background music. No, the candy is just to, you need a lot of energy to do this.
Amen, brother.
The candy is just symbolical. I thought you need some energy to do this because this is actually your final review. This is 150 points of your class. This is your final exam. That's how important succession management is. And so, if you'll observe, you don't do this right now. This is your homework for the next week. But we'll discuss it a little bit. If you want, if you're so excited, I seem like sugar is kicking in already from the candy. So that's good. But think about Elder Joe J. Christensen. When we're passing the baton, I'll actually put this on Canvas too, so you can just do it electronically. Term is like term 1 and term 2. Yeah. Well, term is fall. What Elder J. President, how he passed the baton is to offer assistance. And so, if you're passing it to someone else, think about offering assistance. If you're passing it to yourself, the same thing. We need to offer assistance and we need to get winter ready. So how it is very simple. And this goes exactly what Oak was explaining with his experience. We've pinpointed 5, I believe, of the most, what you can really pass on that would be helpful information. First, Eric, can you read it? Or it's in your
Chapter presidency and chapter members catching the mission and vision of the PUA Hawaii.
So there's only 2 items that you need to think about really well. Think about this past fall semester. What is the current status? When you're talking about the mission and vision of BYU Hawaii in relation to you as president and your chapter members, just really write down what the current status is. So for those who are leaving, this is a crucial information. For those who are leaving, because it would really give them what's happening in your chapters. Would that be important information for you as well for those who are staying? That's why you cannot cheat yourself. For those, especially for those who are staying, the more you really assess how your chapter is doing, and then what would you advise? As if you were handing it over to someone else. What would you advise for improvement? The second one, Sunali, please.
Management of tasks by chapter presidents, committee leaders, and chapter members.
So if you are to assess how your chapter is with task management, how you manage all of your activities and stuff, and then what would you advise? What would you advise for the next one so that there will be continuous improvement? Anne, please, number 3.
Chapter leadership meetings, chapter members motivation meetings.
So chapter leaders meetings, how regular have they been? Were they effective? Just give the best assessment, your current status, or the assessment for, and then can you describe, you'll describe the motivation